Think we're ready? I'll call this meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. Good evening. My name is David T. Gracia, and this is a meeting of the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. Tonight, I will serve as the acting president on the NVUSD Board of Education, and I will be chairing this evening's meeting. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a special board meeting tonight that all can participate in remotely via Zoom. Interpretation in Spanish is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. To access interpretation from a computer, click on the interpretation icon on the bottom of your screen from within the Zoom application. On a mobile device, click on the More button on the bottom of your screen and choose Language Interpretation from within the Zoom application. This is a separate channel that will allow you to hear English to Spanish translation concurrently. Please note, interpretation services are not available when you join our meeting by calling in. Our interpreters for tonight's meeting are Marcy Valdivicio and Isidra Minkos. May we have one of our interpreters please translate these directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families can assess the instructions.
Buenas noches, bienvenido a la reunión especial de la Junta de Educación del Valle de Napa. Esta noche ofreceremos servicios de interpretación disponibles haciendo clic en el mapa mundi que está en la parte inferior de la pantalla y seleccionando español para escuchar la interpretación. Desde un dispositivo móvil puede presionar los 3 puntos para más y ahí seleccionar el mapa mundi y las opciones de interpretación. Podrá escucharles la interpretación en un canal por separado. Por favor, noten que cuando llaman por teléfono y se conectan a la sesión por medio de su teléfono, los servicios de interpretación no estarán disponibles.
Specific instructions on how to participate in the meeting are located on the Board of Education webpage on the district's website, nvusd.org/board. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales?
Yes. Trustee Gonzalez Mares is absent tonight. Trustee Jankowicz is absent tonight. Trustee Gracia?
Present.
Trustee Reiser?
Present.
Trustee Water?
Present.
Trustee Shu?
Present.
Trustee Dooley?
Present.
Student Board Member Emily Bitt is absent today. Quorum present. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us tonight for our Napa Valley Unified School District Board meeting. Public participation remains virtual, online only. This meeting tonight is in accordance with the open meeting rules in the state of California per the Governor's Order and Assembly Bill 361. I'm going to start tonight with some basic instructions on how we are going to be using Zoom and involve the members of the community. All Board of Education trustees and the superintendent are on video throughout the entire board meeting. Members of the community will not be on video and will be muted except during public comment. During public comment, any member of the community that wishes to speak must raise their hand using the raise hand feature in Zoom. You will be unmuted and you will be provided 3 minutes to speak. Instructions on how to raise your hand are available on the district website at nvusd.org/board. Tonight's meeting is a special meeting of the board and there will be no public comment on non-agenda items. You may make public comment on agendized items only. All right, and with that, we will move forward with our agenda. So A1 flag salute. Mr. Michaels, can you put the flag up on the screen for us, please? All right, and Trustee Water, would you lead us in the flag Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next A2A, approval of special sessions agenda.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Trustee Chu, second by Trustee Dooley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. A3 announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced and located on the district webpage at nvusd.org. The public can join the virtual board meetings remotely via Zoom. Participation instructions and the process for public comment can be found on the district's webpage. All right, now on to action items. B1, General Services, B1A, discussion and approval of resolution number 22-04, authorizing use of remote teleconferencing provisions pursuant to AB 361 and Government Code Section 54953. I would like to ask Dr. Massetti to please provide some background information on this item.
Yes, thank you, Acting President Gracia tonight. Thank you to the board for convening this special session for the sole purpose of setting direction for the Napa Valley Unified School District in response to Assembly Bill 361. So tonight, trustees, we are presenting to you as staff the recommendation to approve this resolution. And this resolution is serving as sort of our initial determination to continue to implement our board meeting format in the way that we have over the course of the last, several months, where the public continues to participate remotely via Zoom is our teleconferencing tool, while our board members and staff continue in the boardroom. A couple of reasons for our rationale in terms of advancing this recommendation forward and bringing it to all of you today is that we know as a school district, we have a variety of topics that are on our school board meeting agendas that have the potential to bring forth a substantial number of members from the public. And, while the Delta variant continues to be an issue, the unknown and risk factor around individuals either being vaccinated or not vaccinated, we believe that, we could have a boardroom in any given situation, depending on the topic of what are on our agendas, or maybe a topic that emerges as a non-agenda item, where there's a potential scenario where hundreds of people could be in the boardroom, right? And so we believe that this does, while there is the continuous state of emergency, does present a imminent health risk that we just need to be aware of. So that's kind of number one. Number two, we have learned as staff, we believe that you as trustees have also observed that our access and participation has dramatically increased since the inception of this format, due to COVID-19. So we've had more participation in our board meetings in this format, when comparing it to the pre-only boardroom, in the boardroom sort of traditional format. And as we continue to make important decisions to improve the educational experience of our children in the Napa Valley Unified School District and conduct business on behalf of the school district, we think that it would potentially reduce participation, because if we were to go back to the traditional boardroom format, we believe there are many members of the public who feel that it may still be a vulnerable time to come and participate, especially with the unknowns around, there being maybe, dozens of people to hundreds of people potentially in the boardroom. And so we think that this format will also, during this period of uncertainty, risk, all these different factors, that it would be beneficial to continue with the format that we have been using over the course of the last several months, actually. So that's sort of the rationale of staff. Now, I want to remind everybody that this is our initial determination. So staff is bringing to you an initial determination, but as AB 361 lays out, we know that there's a continuous determination factor that we need to tune into. So what does that mean? That means that every 30 days, staff will bring a resolution for you, along with a staff recommendation based on whatever kind of the public health landscape is at the time, for you to consider, deliberate on, and then take action on. So this is the initial, and we will move to ongoing continuous determination monthly. So you will see this every 30 days. So we'll just put out once a month, one board meeting a month. This will come and be revisited as a topic, and staff every time will bring to you their assessment. Of course, it's the decision of the board around the issue, but that is our plan moving forward. And so for today's initial determination, we are requesting that the board, as the resolution lays out, approve our recommendation, which is to continue in the teleconferencing format that we have been implementing since the pandemic started. So I'll take any questions.
I have no question, but I do know a lot of American Canyon residents are very appreciative of the access, because it's very difficult for a lot of our residents to attend our meetings when they are in Napa. I know that in the past, there have been a couple of meetings here and there when you do come down to American Canyon, but you probably wouldn't see many of us from American Canyon otherwise. So I am appreciative of this access piece.
Thank you for reiterating that, Trustee Chu. That's not our primary reason, but it is an excellent benefit, right? And so our primary reason, like I said, and I'll just reiterate for the board and the public, that we discussed with staff and legal counsel, is that we just know there's always the potential that many people could come to the boardroom regarding a topic. And we believe that there's still an imminent health risk at play. And so that's our primary reason. And then the secondary factor that you've illuminated, particularly for our constituents in American Canyon who live at a distance from the boardroom, we know that this is a great access opportunity for them.
Yes, and we have a lot of constituents who are parents of young children, and it's easier for them to attend the meeting. They don't have to worry about childcare. And I'm also remembering our extremely sociable attendees at the last in-person meeting had when we announced that we were closing schools. And I remember we had the chairs spaced and everybody scrunched the chairs together. They just naturally scrunched the chairs together. And that was, kind of amusing, but alarming at the same time. So I think we should keep it, now for the way it is for a while because of that. But I do look forward to meeting in person sometime. But when we do meet in person, I would hope that we could still make it possible for people to attend remotely.
Yep, that'll sort of depend on the evolution of all these rules. But for sure, we appreciate the access opportunity. So thank you for reminding us, Trustee Water, of, we did make an attempt of the social distancing in the boardroom, and that did become very challenging. So just to be clear, the format that districts all over in terms of this alternative format have implemented it in a variety of different ways, depending on their technology capacity and all kinds of different factors, right? In NVUSD, our format has been most recently, which is the format that we're considering tonight to continue to implement in this initial determination. And then we will determine, if we continue it every 30 days, is superintendent and trustees in the boardroom in person with public and staff remote participation.
I also want to point out that one of the predicates for this decision is that there's a proclaimed state of emergency. We're still in a state of emergency as much as we want to get out of it. There's still a hyper contagious disease that we have to be aware of, and turning our business meetings into events where we're increasing the risk of the public and staff and ourselves to be exposed to the disease is I think not something that we as a governing body should be encouraging at the moment. I do also appreciate that this is something we have to revisit. I don't want to make a rule today that will extend beyond a foreseeable end to the state of emergency. So we get to be in tune with the way the pandemic may change in the future. I know that the Association of Bay Area Governments, or at least a group of Bay Area counties, are developing a kind of way of assessing when mask mandates can be lifted, what kind of metrics that need to be present for mask mandates to be lifted. That's not the same thing as what we're addressing here, but I think it provides a way that we can look at what factors will play into our decision in the future to kind of renew this process. So I'm supportive of this now, and we get to address how supportive we are 30 days, 60 days beyond. So yeah.
And I think based on that framework, Napa County is still in the red zone. So we're still experiencing a high rate at this moment.
I think this resolution makes a great deal of sense and is in line with what all of our decision making has been, which is in consultation with our public health department and in response to the changing public health conditions. And the most recent county update I read has some, we've been fluctuating with the ICU availability, for example, but it's still risky. We were at 0% on a day within the last week, 0% availability of ICU in our county. And now I think we're back in the double digits, but there are a number of concerning factors. And I think that we always need to both model and prioritize the safety of our community. And I think that this decision or this resolution is in line with that. So I'm supportive.
I'll just say that I do think that the resolution provides us with flexibility, certainly going forward, and that it is quite nice for those who don't want or can't be physically present to provide that remote access. I think it's, access is so important, and I'm really pleased to see that we have a way to continue providing it. If there are no further comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Oh, public comment first.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Mr. Michaels, do we have public comment?
We do have public comment on this item. Amy Martinson, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Amy Martinson. I'm a school district employee, and I actually didn't realize that the board hadn't opened up its meetings until I was listening to the last board meeting. And to be honest, I was pretty surprised. I would have assumed that when the schools opened up, that the board would have also opened up as well. When schools opened up this year, basically the policy was that we would learn inside with masks with no social distancing. If that's safe for students and staff, I don't understand why it's not safe for adults attending a school board meeting. Because we are talking about adults, we're talking about it's their choice to come. They don't have to come. If they don't feel safe, they don't have to come. And it's not either or. Like Trustee Waters said, there should still be an option to participate either by Zoom or by telephone, similar to the City Council and the Board of Supervisors. They've been meeting in person, but there still is the option to call in. Similar to last year when teachers were teaching both in person, but also had a group of students online. I feel like the school board should be able to do the same thing. So that's basically it. If it's safe for students and staff, I feel it's safe for adults attending a board meeting, and I'd like to see the board lead by example and just like we show up every day to serve our students, your clients are the public. And you need to be able to look at your constituents in the eye and see them face to face and hear what their concerns are, whether it's in person and hopefully also online. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Michael, are there other public comments?
1 minute left. I do want to say, talking about access, I actually, Mr. Dooley froze when I was trying to listen to him. He froze. I had to go out. I had a hard time getting back in. I actually missed most of what he had to say. So you have to also think about the fact that, you know, I have good technology too. Not everybody does. So if we're really talking about access, that would be providing both the online or phone-in option, as well as allowing people to come in person. Thank you.
Mr. Michael, do we have any other public comment on this item?
There is no further public comment for this item.
Thank you. Now I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
All right, I have a first by trustee Dooley. I have a second by trustee Chu. Ms. Morales, can you give us a roll call vote on this matter?
Yes. Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
trustee Ricer,
Aye.
trustee Water,
Aye.
trustee Shu,
Aye.
trustee Dooley.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to item C. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, that was kind of a tie, but I'm going to go first by trustee Dooley, and since trustee Riser hasn't had one yet this evening, I'll go second by trustee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Nays? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.